Hello everybody and welcome back to Maniac Panda Gaming, and today we are here in the finale of the Realistic Resource Pack competition. And as I'm sure you know, we have 3 contenders for this. We have Backyard Craft, Invictus, and Enjoyably. And right now I'm in Backyard Craft just because that was the last video I recorded. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll over here and we are going to finally judge this, and if I remember the categories correctly. I did have a piece of paper that had them on, but honestly, I don't know where it went. So let me take a quick look around here. I should have wrote it down somewhere, but I don't know where. I'm a mess, so I probably can't find anything. And it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to find it. So if I mess up the categories, that's why. And I believe it was creativity. It was creativity for sure. So, C. It was realism. Obviously, it was completion, and then it was enjoyability. So we are gonna do we're gonna do Backyard Craft first. Then we're going to do Invictus, and then we are going to do Equanimity. So let's do this. So let's take a look at this Backyard Craft and look at it in details in the creative factor. Now this particular resource pack does a really good job with its creative elements. It has a really interesting texture to it, which makes it really enjoyable, and also really nicely done with the creativity, especially with the pigs and the animals. And they used, what I like about this one is they actually use pictures from the real world, especially in like villagers and some of the mobs. Like, let's see if I can find a villager. And it just really looks really nice, and everything looks extremely realistic, and it's nice, crisp, and they had a really good idea behind their textures. So I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm assuming that's the creator, but they just look absolutely hilarious. So I love them a lot, and like you can look around, and they definitely had a really nice creative element to this, just because it's really realistic and it's nice and crisp. So we're gonna do the rating out of 10. So there's gonna be a possibility of 40 points, and Backyard Craft for creativity is gonna get a 9.5. Just because some of the textures they didn't do, which kind of brings it down a bit. But with the things that they did do, and they did complete most of this, it looks really good. Like, you can scroll through here, and they did all the building blocks. I don't think did they even do clay? They are the only... We're good. But you can see that they actually did do the clay, which is the first one, not even the one that I reviewed, which one? Invictus. They didn't do that. And it just really, honestly, the completion's okay. Not the best for any completion, like you can see that some things aren't. But for the most part, they are most certainly pretty well modded. Some things they just didn't even try. Like this, they didn't really try too hard. Buckets look quite cool. I mean, they did a really good job of completing most of this, which I'm really happy with. And you know me, I'm a huge stickler for that, and I like how they actually changed some of these things. That's why I got more points for creativity. And tools look quite cool, and overall, it's just a really nice little thing here. So I love the that's a gas here. I thought that was a water bottle. Again, some things they didn't even try with, but you know, you're gonna get that noticed. So that's why I can. Now, reality. That is definitely a huge... It could go either way, because the creativity kind of interferes with the reality, with the real... Because of the really nice textures on the grass and some other things. I'm praying that you guys can still hear me. Still lagging real hard, I can tell. So we're down to 9 frame rates. 9 frames per minute. Or second, my bad. Yeah, it's definitely lagging real hard. I'm so sorry, guys, for the lag. But because some of it is really realistic, for reality, it's gonna get an 8. Now, completion. Now, as we just talked about, completion is a very tough category to compete in because it is a really difficult thing to complete. But they did do a pretty good job with completing most of it. And again, guys, I apologize for the lag. I'm lagging real hard, to be honest. So, okay. So for completion, because of the amazing textures, it's going to get a few bonus points. And for completion, it's going to get a 7.5. And if you guys will give me 1 second that I'm not talking, I just need to grab the cap to this marker that I'm writing down the scores with. Okay, the next step, and I just want to show you this real quick. I'm sure you guys saw this already, but I love the look of these paintings. They added such a nice element to it, and this is definitely going to give them more points in some of the other ones. Like, they actually added new paintings versus, you know, just like classic vanilla Minecraft paintings, which I like quite a lot. And anyway, next one is enjoyability, which we were just talking about. Even though it's not totally complete, all the textures and even like the, so overall for the enjoyability, I'm giving this a 8. Actually, no, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. So I'm gonna quickly add up these scores right now. I'm not sure if you can tell right now. I am actually listening to Dance EDM, as I'm sure you guys were expecting. And I'm kind of running this in a rush because I already recorded this, but then I remembered that I was listening to a video in the background, and that audio just overtook me. So what do we have here? We have a 9.5 plus 8 plus 7.5 plus 9 equals a 34%. Or 34 out of... Alright, 34 out of 40. And I might change the scorings a little bit, but I think I'm just going to keep them all out of 10 because they're all pretty equally important. And let's hop over to the next one. I know this is going to lag, guys, after this. But we are going to be doing the Invictus, which was originally my favorite, but looking at this now in more details, the backyard craft, it does look really good. And here we go, lagging. That's not going to respond because keep in mind it has to change all the textures over to the Invictus. So I'm sorry for the lag there. I'm just going to wait for a minute. Again, I'm praying that you guys can still hear me. Give me 1 second, guys. I just need to make sure I tell you who this is by. And I'm just looking real quick. I'm just looking, and again, if you guys did not know, I am now partners on a network called Freedom, so if you want to go check them out, there will be a link, hopefully in the description below, unless I forget. And let's take a look. First thing I want to check out is I do want to check out the paintings. I forget if they change it. Yeah, they changed them too, which is quite cool. I mean, they're not as cool, don't get me wrong, but they did change them, which is really cool. I liked it a lot. So, anyway, let's continue. You see, what I like about this is it kind of has that slight more Minecraft realism, but it still has that realistic realism to it as well. The water looks amazing in this one. I love it a lot. And so does the sun. And it's more realistic sizing, I feel. And even the pigs look adorable. So now let's get to the first category of creativity after a quick fly around, which I don't think I did, but it was the last video, so I'm like, oh, you guys probably saw it. So let's just take a quick fly around this world, and we will get to the actual review. I think this is what I'm going to do for the next two, and then I might go back and give you a quick fly around. And then in the comment section below, I want you guys to vote, but I will give my opinion, but I want to hear you guys' opinion as well. So there's our little fly around our little world, and here we go. Creativity. Now, if we were to look in here, you can see a lot of things have changed. Now, even though it's not the best creative element, it definitely did add a huge change to the Minecraft itself. And some of these things, especially with the heads and the mobs, it definitely added that nice creative element to it. And overall, most of the things have taken on new shapes and new shadings, which is amazing in itself. And they even took the time to change things that just came out in the new 1.9 update, like the elytras and even the shields. That's why in this case it's going to get a few more points for creative, even though it's not the most creative thing in general, it does have a huge completion rate, which shows that they have to have a lot of creative elements to be able to finish that up. And also, they look really quite cool, especially I love the look of them, and they just look really amazing. So overall, for creativity, this guy is going to get an 8.75. And for reality, guys, it definitely is a nice, realistic look to it. There's nothing in here that looks non-realistic to me. That's why for this one, and with the completion rate, this is going to get a big 9.5, which could be the difference between tying with backyard crafts or inequality or losing. Now, completion is also going to be a big one. Now, completion is a huge rate, even though they did forget things like the clay and the banners. That's pretty much all they forgot. Even with some simple things like the new blocks, like the purple pillars, they even added a slight shading and a bit of a deeper gap in between the blocks. So overall, for completion, this is going to get a 9. Now let's just go over the score so far. So far, in creativity, it had Backyard Craft had a 0.75 lead in creativity. However, in reality, I think I messed up the score. Yeah, I messed up the score. I meant to say, for reality, for Backyard Craft, I meant to put an 8.75. And no, I'm not changing. It deserved that because it was extremely realistic. And I might even raise that should I raise that to 9? Yeah, we'll give it a 9. And yeah, so sorry if I'm changing the scores. I said I wouldn't, but what I'll actually do is in this video, you'll already seen this already. But if you were confused why I said a different score than what came up on the screen, that's why, because I messed up the scores. Anyway, so let me bring up the scores right now, as of right now. And so far, we have a 9.5 to an 8.75, which is a 0.75 difference. And then reality, or Invictus, came back and is now only 0.25 points because they scored a 9.5 in reality, whereas Backyard Craft only scored a 9. So only 2.5 points behind, and they have actually taken the lead in this last one. They were a 1.5 above in the completion rate, which is pretty good. And I'm actually again going to change the score because I keep writing the wrong thing. And it actually, for Backyard Craft, it actually got a score of 8. So now we are now ahead, or Invictus is now ahead by 0.75 points if I did my math right. So they would need to get at least. The least they can get for the enjoyability is an 8.25. So let's do a quick judging, and let me just quickly change the time as well. I'm sorry if my throat's a bit weird. I'm just kind of upset a bit today. My softball team was undefeated, and we just played a really bad game. And it was the end of the season, so it's just really upsetting, and just scoldings, and it just was not an enjoyable game. Not because we lost, but it was just not fun. So here's my suggestion: if you do play a sport, enjoy it. No matter if you win or lose, it's all about enjoyability. Don't get mad at yourself. And if people think you're wrong, you're not. You did your best, and that's what's important. Anyway, for enjoyability, I do really like the Christmas of this. However, some of these things I'm not the biggest fan of. Such as some of the chests are kind of unrecognizable. I like the textures as they are, but overall, for enjoyability, I think this is actually going to put it ahead of Backyard Craft, because I love the look of most of this, but some things I don't like, such as how they didn't really change the look of the quartz too much, and also the look of the glowstone is not that great. And some other blocks just didn't look too great for me, so this is actually going to get an 8.5. So let me just quickly do a quick add up of the scores out of 40, and I hit the wrong button. I hit the stopwatch. But here we go. We are going to do our addition here. By me, I mean my calculator. 8.75 plus 9.5 plus 9 plus 8.5. And it was extremely close, guys. This ended up score was actually... Wait, actually... It might have overtaken. They might have been overtaken because I didn't update this score. For Backyard Craft, the actual score was actually a 9.5 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9. This was extremely close. It was a 35.5 over 40 out of 40 to a 35.75. Very close. I highly recommend both of these. It really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a realistic texture pack with a bit of humor, definitely go with the Backyard Craft. But if you're looking for a nice, crisp, kind of more animated version that looks kind of like Minecraft but kind of doesn't, you should definitely go check out this one. This is by Invictus, and all of the links to all of these texture packs will be in the link below. And now, of course, we are going to switch over to equanimity. Now, I love the look of this, but I'm going to tell you it does not look like that if you watch the video. That is actually going as we speak. Or I hope it is. Oh, it finished, guys. Look at that. We're done. It's done, and it can be uploaded to YouTube. And I'm sure you already saw it. But I'm recording this on the 19th, so... And I'm sorry that the videos are kind of up at weird times. This one, wait, whoa. What is that? Do you guys see that? What is that? That's so cool. Let me know about all these things in 1.9 because I never usually playing it. So, yeah. Now, anyway, this is the other one. This is called the equanimity one, I believe. Now, what I don't like about this one, right off the bat, is they didn't change anything, like, on the actual home screen. They kind of just kept kind of basics, and they really did not have a really great completion rate. If you were to look at this, you could find many blocks that were not changed at all. And that's really kind of annoying to me because I really usually enjoy exploring all of them, and they really just didn't do a good job with the completion rate. Especially since these other ones completed a lot and added a lot of creativity. They definitely did not come through with that in the lack of completion. I'm just going to do a quick scroll through here, guys. And there you guys go. So I'm going to quickly take this off. It does look really cool on you. They did take time to change armor, which looks good. It just looks good. It's nice, clean. I mean, what I don't like about this is it really is pushing the limits on like more of a simplistic rather than realistic. Even though the textures are really nice, it's kind of just not the best if you want a realistic one. It has that more animated touch to it, which some people like and some people don't. However, it does lack the creativity as none of the actual mobs are textured, which is really upsetting, especially when you're doing a texture pack that especially is supposed to be realistic. So we're going to go do a quick fly around like as we did last time, and you can see not much has really changed. Not my favorite by far, and I'm sorry for the lag spike. And overall, it's okay, but definitely not my favorite by far. So now, for creativity with this one, because of the lack of completion, and because of the lack of modded animals, and kind of because of the simplicity, this is going to score only a 7 for creativity. Now, for reality, it does have really nice textures in it, which I do really appreciate. However, as I've mentioned before, the lack of completion really, or not really the lack of completion, but the animated features to it just doesn't really change it, and especially with some of the, I want to say lack of completion, but it's not really that. It's just the fact that the mobs still look the same, and especially with the villagers and some of the other things, it just doesn't look the best. And I'm sorry, I keep taking screenshots. Anyway, overall, for reality, I'm going to give this an 8, I think, just to be a bit nice, because we already know who won this. And no, I'm not being biased. And, oh my god, my knee. I hurt my knee really bad today, so if you hear me groaning, that's why. Overall, for completion, this is definitely going to get the lowest score by far, because as we went through, it just lacks like everything that you would think would be modded, like would be one of the easier things to mod. And ow, my knee. Sorry guys, but I think overall for completion, it did do some things that I thought were interesting. So for completion, I'm gonna give it another 8. Now for enjoyability. Now this is going to be tough because I'm not sure how I'm supposed to judge this one quite for this one. It is a really enjoyable one, but I honestly think just the lack of completion and kind of the lack of changing textures with the mobs as the other ones did, I think that's what's going to make this one lose points for me. And I'm sorry to the mod creator, but this is just kind of, I mean, it's nice, I like it, but it's just not my favorite. I mean, it does have some good effects, and I do recommend trying this out if you're kind of looking for a slightly modded world, but not totally. So, overall, for enjoyability, this is going to get a 7. Just for the fact of this, it is a really good one, but just not in this particular. So I can actually do the math because I didn't give any decimals in this one. So it is actually going to be a 30 out of 40. So that's about a 75%. And so, my final picks for you are, in first place, we have the Invictus mod. That only came in first place in this Realisic. You can make your pick of which one you want to choose, because some of these, obviously you guys can, but you guys have the final decision in what you actually think about these. And I do want to see it in the comment section below, so make sure to leave them down there as well. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this series. I loved recording it, and